From WFRV Local 5, your local election headquarters. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Well, the election season is fast approaching, and while a lot of eyes have been on the Wisconsin 8th Congressional District race following the resignation of Mike Gallagher, there's also another seat up for grabs in this election year. Republican Congressman Glenn Grothman is seeking another term to represent the people of the 6th District, a seat he has held since 2014. In this race, he is being challenged by Democrat John Zarbano. And joining us in our studio this morning, the Democratic challenger, John Zarbano. John, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
Much appreciated. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the politics of the day, John Zarbano, who is he for those of us who have not had contact with you before?
Well, I live in Oshkosh. Okay. I'm a husband, father, grandfather, and retired lawyer. I'm born in Omaha and did my bachelor's and master's at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, and I went to law school at the University of Tulsa, and that's where I met my wife, Marlene. I'm a Wisconsinite by marriage. She's a native of Marinette, and so we moved back to Oshkosh in 1998 to be near her parents. Our son still lives in Tulsa, Nick and his wife Beth, and our 2 grandchildren, whose favorite place on the planet is Wisconsin Dells.
Of course.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. You've been retired for how long?
Oh, well, the first time I retired from the practice of law was 2013. I must have got underfoot because my wife, who was chair at the theater department, put me back to work. She needed a box office manager.
Okay.
And so I not only did that, but I also taught entertainment law at UW Oshkosh.
So you tried to retire and it didn't work.
No. Well, the second time I just quit.
You did it. You finally pulled the trigger. Yeah, you are running against an incumbent congressman, 10-year incumbent. What was the trigger? What made you decide to challenge Glenn Grothman?
It was a combination of things. First, the armed insurrection on January 6, 2021. When I became a Wisconsin lawyer, I took an oath to support the Constitution of the United States and of Wisconsin. I felt betrayed by the armed insurrection on January 6th. And then when Glenn Grothman ran in 2022, unopposed, I said, no, this stops now. We need leaders for the 6th Congressional District, and Glenn did not show leadership, and so I decided to run.
You mentioned earlier you spent some time teaching at UW Oshkosh, teaching entertainment law.
That's correct.
Whoever knew that there was entertainment law being offered at UW Oshkosh? I mean, what is that? What is one's career path when you take that course?
Oh, it is business law for theater majors and radio, TV, film majors. I believe the producer of this show was one of my students. And so back before I retired for the second time. So it has to do with copyright, privacy issue, liability with respect to libel and slander. It's business law for the folks in the entertainment business.
And I bet you're glad you're out of it with AI coming along now.
Oh my goodness.
That's a whole new world.
Oh, it is.
How do you translate your legal experience into becoming a member of Congress if you were to be elected?
When I was in Tulsa, I was a bank lawyer with respect to negotiating real estate transactions, the secured lending, mergers and acquisitions. These are things of financial nature that I can bring to Congress. And the ability to basically read a balance sheet and an income statement was very helpful to members of Congress.
You just mentioned one son. I want to ask you about your oldest son, Anthony. died of brain cancer.
Yes.
And before the Affordable Care Act, you and Anthony wrestled with Social Security and with Medicaid to get medical services. Tell me about that. What were the roadblocks? What were the frustrations that you faced?
The roadblocks were that the first thing you had to do was get him determined to be totally disabled. Now, with that, with the glioblastoma diagnosis, that is one of the diagnoses that that gets you to total disability, because you're going to die from it within a year. And he didn't. Due to the care that we got for him, he had 3 craniotomies and 10 years of chemotherapy before he died. But what the challenges for getting Medicaid and Social Security administration services was the simple application process, following up with the medical records, discussing the case with the case manager at Social Security and with Medicaid, attending hearings to develop this. My wife said at the time is that it's good that Tony, that your dad's a doctor. Excuse me, that Tony is a lawyer, right? Because it's think of the people that don't have that, and that advantage of having someone who can watch over you. And so, but we got it done, and that led to my 5 years in the making of a health care plan.
All right, that I want to pick up on. I want to take a break here and get into detail about this health care plan you have going. We are with John Zarbano, running for Congress against Glenn Grothman, and we are back with more right after this. We are back with the Democrat John Zarbano, who is facing incumbent Glenn Grothman for the 6th congressional seat in Wisconsin, talking about your son Anthony, who passed of cancer. You've worked with Wisconsin's Republican legislators on your Health Care of Wisconsin plan. What is that?
It is a statutory plan that provides direct medical services to folks under 65 without using tax dollars. It's a market-based plan that started with a simple question: if I want health care, why am I buying insurance? You buy insurance for things that you don't expect to happen, but that sometimes do. Your house burns down, you're in a car wreck. And so, but when you have health insurance, you're going to use it. And for this has been vetted by not only the former chair of the UW Oshkosh Economics Department, but it has also been vetted by the Legislative Reference Bureau. It has progressed over the past 5 years, and it is a plan. And it's not a concept, it's a plan.
It's a plan in the works. There's a 60-year string of Republicans in the office that you are seeking. Did that give you pause at all when you realized that, or were you going to go ahead?
I guess we're due. It is. But you have to remember, Tom, that I'm a lawyer. I don't take cases to lose. I prepare to win. And with this election, this time is feeling so much different. This time we have the proper message with protection of women's rights and protection of workers' rights and fixing immigration and clean air and clean water. We have the right message at the right time, and I believe I'm the right candidate.
On your website, you say move forward, not backward. What does that slogan mean to you?
Well, Glenn just recently, back mid-July, said that we have to go back to the 1960s. I think we have to think forward to the 2060s. We have to modify our education outlook. We have to take into consideration protection of personal rights, and we have to also move forward with respect to economic growth.
You say that Congressman Grothman has voted no on a lot of issues, important, detrimental to Wisconsin. What are some of those issues that he voted no on?
Voted no on such things as women's health. He voted no on Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. He voted no against, he voted against the Reauthorization of Violence Against Women Act. He voted no to right to contraception. He voted no to Protect Marriage Act. These are social issues that he does not believe in, and I do.
We have much more to come with John Zarbano running for Congress right after this, so please stay right there. Back now with congressional candidate John Zarbano, who is taking on Glenn Grothman for the 6th congressional seat. You've laid out several issues. Number one, if elected, women's reproductive rights, the abortion question. Where do you stand on that? To what degree?
All right, we have to start at the beginning. Every man and every woman has, in this country, has the personal fundamental right to make their own decisions about their own lives. And that includes health care. And for women, health care includes access to contraception, in vitro fertilization, and abortion. All three of those are health care and are a woman's choice with her doctors.
Another issue you have is immigration. Thorn in the side of every administration going back to Dwight Eisenhower. What's your answer to this?
Okay.
I know that's a nebulous question. Nobody has done it yet.
It is, within the first 100 days that I'm in Congress, I'm going to dust off that bipartisan Senate compromise bill and reintroduce it introduce it into the House. Into the House and push it forward.
All right, another issue, workers' rights. What do you see out there that you don't like?
Okay, the middle class, progressive unions, protecting unions, adds to the middle class. It protects the middle class. They have strong unions have been essential to this nation's development and growth and leadership in the world, and that we have to increase union membership and take care of the workers. Glenn Grothman, however, even as late as November of last year, voted to defund, and there was an amendment, voted to defund OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. That's the wrong way to go.
Another issue, an obvious one here, clean air and clean water. Again, obvious, but what puts that so high on your list?
Okay, we all deserve clean air and clean water. Everybody does. And there are in the 6th Congressional District, there is over 1 million acres of farmland. And farmers tell me that you protect the soil, you take care of the soil will take care of you. Pending now in Congress are a number of bills that would, Soil Care Act, the Healthy Soil, Healthy Climate Act. These bills are necessary to help farmers, land management, crop management, and to take care of the soil so that you have cleaner water and cleaner air. Because, Tom, if it's green and it's growing on 1 million acres, the 6CD acts like a carbon sponge to pull the carbon out of the air.
If this is interesting, you bring this up in this particular election, protecting our democracy. Why has that become a rallying cry for Democrats?
Again, that starts back to January 6th, when the cornerstone of our democracy is the peaceful transfer of power, without violence, with protest, sure, but without violence, without destruction of property, without undue confrontation. And again, that's the first thing that we have to reestablish, that after the election, you accept the result and move on.
What do you worry about most if there is a second Trump administration?
Our standing in the world. We have so much is happening, and with respect to Israel, and with respect to Ukraine, and with respect to NATO, that we have to, my fear is that Donald Trump would abandon NATO and let Putin do, as he said, whatever the hell he wants.
We are back to wrap up with John Zarbano right after this, so please stay with us. Back now with John Zarbano running against Republican Glenn Grothman for Wisconsin's 6th congressional seat. On your website, you say it is time to evict former President Donald Trump's #1 loyalist in Congress. How did Glenn Grothman get that moniker from John Zarbano?
Well, actually, it came from a number of sources, and it is it's a consensus that he voted with or for Donald Trump 93% of the time, the highest in Congress. So that's how that came about.
You view the congressman as being a strong member of the MAGA movement, not just Republican, but the MAGA movement.
That's correct. In March of 2022, a month after Russia invaded Ukraine, there was a bill to suspend normal trade relations with Russia. And Glenn Grothman voted against that bill, along with Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, and the others of that MAGA group. And that's why I put him in the MAGA group.
Mm-hmm. What is first on your agenda if you are in fact elected to Congress and you wind up in Washington, D.C.? What's top of mind for you?
Oh, the top of thing is going to be taxation. It is because the Trump tax cuts expire next year, mm-hmm. and it's going to be the first thing that's going to. The debate is already started. There's even false information about taxes going forward. So that's going to have to be #1 and next year.
Yep. What are you hearing out there? You're on the campaign trail. What are you hearing at town meetings and the places you appear? What are people concerned about?
People are concerned about gas and groceries. It is inflation, although it is within 1% of Jerome Powell's target, it doesn't feel that way. I know gas is coming down as it does this time of year, but groceries don't feel that way, because even though when they were at their highest, it was the 8% inflation, and now that we're down less than 3%, they're still high. And so we'd have to take a look at what I call seller's inflation, or price gouging, if you will, and to see if have the grocery industry answer some questions, that invite the CEOs to Congress and ask them questions about why are you selling less food and making record profits?
Mm-hmm. All right, John, I've got about a minute to go here. Your opportunity to tell the voters of the 6th District why John Zarbano should be a member of Congress after this next election.
Okay, voters, you have to realize that it is important that members of Congress are leaders, not followers. We have to lead, the federal government has to lead the way to protecting women's health, advancing education, and growing the economy. As I said, the overarching goal of taxation is to encourage and make the economy grow and at the same time generate sufficient income to pay for the projects that the government needs to pay for. And so next, I'm looking forward to that challenge, and I hope that the folks elect me.
Any surprises on the campaign trail? Anything you weren't expecting?
No, not yet. Not yet.
All right,
So,
John Zarbano, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
thank you, Tom.
Much appreciated. And if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think that we should have on the show, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com or message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7. Until then, have a great day.